So welcome back everyone to another Wheelie Good Podcast. Today we're covering stage number 7, which saw us go over the Mur de Bretagne twice. And some fireworks were exploding, but also not exploding. A little mix of a stage, I think.
Yeah, that's probably one way to describe it. It is, of course, stage 7 of this tour. Mm-hmm. And the profile is pretty interesting. It's a puncher stage, as you were saying, 196 kilometers, and we've got 3 climbs to finish off. Mm-hmm. The first one, category 4, 1.6 kilometers, 3.9%. That should be fairly simple. Mm-hmm. But the other two are the mythical climb, of course, of the Mur de Bretagne, 2 kilometers, 6.5%. But that doesn't tell you the whole story because the middle part is so difficult. And we've seen loads of different winners on this climb before, but most notably Mathieu Van Der Poel in 2021. Do you remember anything about that win?
No.
Nice. But really. He entered the race in the yellow jersey after winning being involved in the breakaway that went the day before. So it was a nice day for him to be back in yellow, but he did not end up keeping it for very long at all. We did have a breakaway. Yep. And the breakaway included a certain Geraint Thomas from Ineos Grenadiers. He was joined by Marco Haller of Tudor, Ewan Costew of Arkea B&B Hotels, Alex Bourdin was there, and Ivan Garcia Cortina. And it wasn't a very difficult breakaway to control. Fairly easy day for Alpecin de Kernington UAE Team Emirates, who were controlling on the front. But Geraint Thomas getting in the moves. Is he after a stage win maybe on his last Tour de France?
Maybe. I would love to see it, honestly. I would love to see it. I feel like he deserves it. Like one final stage one.
But, of course, the breakaway did not make it at all. They were kept on a very short leash. Yep. And over the intermediate sprint, Garcia Cortina was the only one that bothered to properly sprint, overtaking Marco Haller to take some points. But it wasn't about breakaway because once again, we saw Lidl Trek and Intermarché 1T. It's going to be what we'll see for the rest of this tour, I think. Those two teams, Biniam Diomaye against Jonathan Milan. And once again, victory for Milan, who is starting to dominate the battle between him and Diomaye. I don't think Diomaye's won one ahead of Milan at this rate. Although there was the one where they had a polite argument, let's say, after the intermediate sprint. But yeah, looks like Milan's taking his control.
Indeed. I've seen afterwards in an interview that Pogacar, he complained about Visma destroying the breakaway for the stage, which is kind of funny because UAE were pacing the entire race. Apparently something to do with they tried to having a lot of guys up there and stuff, similar with the previous stage, and apparently he's mad about it somehow. I don't fully get it, but his interviews so far have been very interesting. He's really out for Visma for reasons that sometimes don't really make sense. I don't know if he's just trying to start drama when there is none, make it more interesting or whatever, but something's up, man. Something's up.
Jonas needs to drop the diss track, man.
I pray for the day.
I would love to see the music video if he did.
It would be so awkward.
Yeah. But no, it's definitely increasing the drama, certainly, and I'm a fan of it, even though I don't agree with his take at all. I am a fan of the fact that we're finally getting some drama after all the respect between the two. It feels like the drama's hyping up a little bit.
Because if not drama between those two, at least there's drama between just the teams themselves, UAE and Visma. I think it was last stage, well, not the Mur de Bretagne, the one before that, where Tadej got asked about his opinion on Jonas. Well, that was after the town trial. And he just looked at the reporter like, you know my opinion. Didn't even say anything else. So, I don't know, a little... I mean, I guess it's not a dig, but...
Yeah, just interesting that, a couple of cards are being played. And of course, people will have more outlandish takes than us about this.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what side of the fence you sit on. But no, the breakaway battle is going to be one to keep an eye on, I think, especially with Visma trying to throw numbers in there and how UAE kind of respond to breakaway riders, because the fewer breakaways that end up going, the more the rest of the peloton is going to hate both of the teams. And how will the rest of the peloton adapt to seemingly what is going to be UAE and Visma just watching each other in the breaks?
Very good question. I don't know, man. Because honestly, I think UAE, they just want stage wins. That's what they're going for. They're going to pace down a breakaway if they think they can, and that, like, the other teams know that they can't beat Tadej. For sure, on this climb, Mur de Bretagne, they're not beating him. Like, who in the peloton is beating him? No one. Maybe Skelmos if he was there and he didn't have a mechanical, but we'll get onto that. Aside from that, Vingegaard can just barely follow him. That's also why the stage was hard. So since the stage was so hard that it was, like, with such a high pace, the kick that Pogacar has at the end isn't as powerful as if he was fresh, which means that the gap between Jonas and Pogacar sort of gets a little bit closer, so he can't get as far away, which I also think plays into Visma's and Jonas' hands for sure.
Yes, and going back to the stage, we sort of see a little bit of that towards the end. But after the intermediate sprint, Marco Haller was dropped from the breakaway. Garcia Cortina kind of pushed on. But we saw rider by rider the breakaway slowly fall apart. Garcia Cortina was the next one to go. Then came Geraint Thomas just before the first Mur de Bretagne climb. And we saw Ewan Costew go away on his own. And it was a pretty good ride from the Arkea B&B Hotels rider, getting away from Alex Baudin, his final breakaway, let's say, comrade in the breakaway. Getting away from him and going on his own up the Bretagne. And he didn't actually lose as much time as I thought, because Visma Lease Bike sent Simon Yates to the front. And I thought, this is where the race gets ripped apart.
Yep.
That's all you're offering. Fair play.
Yeah, I don't I was like, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So over the top they went, and Tim Wellens took the remaining King of the Mountains points. So he's still interested in the polka dot jersey, this sort of love-hate relationship that he's got at the moment.
He loves it, for sure. He loves the jersey, we all know that.
So Wellens goes over and takes a point, and we saw him usurp the Visma Lease Bike train going into the final passage of the Mur de Bretagne, but not before there was a big crash approaching the Mur. The nervousness was up, and lots of riders suddenly stacked it. Now, one of the GC potentials was down in the form of Santiago Buitrago for Bahrain Victorious, but the bigger name that was on the ground was João Almeida of UAE Team Emirates.
I haven't seen afterwards how bad it was for him exactly. But if Tadej lacks him in the mountains, that would be a huge disadvantage, because that is the main guy to help him. They have a good team, don't get me wrong, but Almeida would be the guy to, help him up the final mountain, basically. And if he isn't there, he possibly might be alone against Visma duo later on during the tour. But let's hope I don't know if we should hope he's alright. Maybe he does need to be alright. But for the humanity's sake, I hope he's alright. But for the race, please don't.
I mean, I don't know whether you saw, there was a interview with Tadej Pogacar after the finish of the previous stage.
No.
And in the background, João Almeida was doing his warm down on the bike, and he looked so incredibly cooked. That was the most finished I have seen a rider.
Oh God!
Because there was I think there was a while between the finish line and the interview. It's not one of those where, as soon as the stage finishes, they go straight to him. So he had time to warm down and recover himself, but he had his head pressed up against the team bus. He was struggling to keep his head on his neck, basically.
Oh God! Okay.
It was so bad. But that crash is going to do him no help at all.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And in the end, I think he gets away with a nasty cut on his hand, and he went for x-rays, and I don't think anything came up from them.
That's good.
So he definitely started, or will start tomorrow's stage. But there was another DNF earlier on in the day, and another important teammate DNF, because Mattia Cataneo, midway through the stage, packed it in, which is one of Remco Evenepoel's key guys. So yeah, it was a bad day to be Soudal Quickstep and UAE Team Emirates, really.
It really was. And this is one of the biggest factors here that people just tend to forget. Crashes. The Tour de France. It happens all the time. I've seen so many people say it's over. Even Danish people say it's over. It's done. Pack it in. First of all, the Tour de France is 21 stages. We've raced like 7. Chill. Take a chill pill here. And second of all, crashes, very big part. We already seen so many big names go out. So, and so far, neither Jonas or Pogacar has been in a crash. It could still happen. And it could be bad. It could also not be bad. Let's not hope it happens, of course. But it's just to say that the tour's not over yet. Let's be real here.
Yeah, so from the UAE Team Emirates medic, they say that they immediately took him for relevant x-rays, and he's got an quote, and I've got no idea what the hell this means.
Okay.
Uncomplicated left-sided rib fracture. So is that a rib fracture, or is it not?
Wait, an uncomplicated. Well, I think just an uncomplicated means that it doesn't pierce anything. I think it's like a small crack in the ribs, basically. Like a what do you call it? Like a hair. What's it called in English? Like a
hairline fracture.
Hairline fracture. Yeah, I would assume there's something along those lines, which still isn't good by any means. I've had that as well in my. Where did I have it? I think I had it in my toe. It hurt. It hurts. So it's still not a good thing for sure, but it probably will. I'm not entirely sure. Well, it could affect breathing. It probably will affect breathing, actually. But hopefully not too much, I guess.
I think it'll be one of those where they kind of test him out for the next few days.
For sure.
And then if he gets to the rest day and can recover, you obviously can't magically recover from it.
Yeah.
But if he just is of use, basically, I think by the time the rest day comes, they'll keep him in for as long as they can.
For sure.
But yeah, dangerous times for Pogacar, because that's his main lieutenant for GC, losing 10 minutes.
Oh.
And now advantage Visma, because Matteo Jorgensen, as we will get to, is still in contention.
Very much.
At the top of the general classification.
Yep. He is. And once again, been saying it from the start, the dual leadership, Visma, is going to be the downfall of Tadej Pogacar. Walk, mark words, man.
And somebody who was marking their card of Visma riders was Tim Wellens, because he flew past almost all of them. Wout Van Aert just before the climb, packed it in, and Tim Wellens in the King of the Mountains jersey just went straight past them.
Oh yeah.
And got to the foot of the climb, and I thought, this is the moment where Tadej Pogacar, he attacks it from the foot, and this is going to be a fantastic watch. But Wellens absolutely drills it up the first part of the climb, gets Pogacar onto the steepest percentages, and I'm like, this is it. Yeah. He's going to go. Wellens pulls off, and he doesn't.
He doesn't go.
He does not attack.
No.
Instead, Remco Evenepoel goes to the front.
Yep.
And was that a clever tactical play by Tadej Pogacar, just to force Remco to the front to basically, I think, pace to prevent him attacking?
Yeah.
But actually, for me, Mathieu Van Der Poel was very quickly dropped and showed signs that he was going to drop on the previous climb, but he was dispatched off the pace of Wellens.
Yeah.
And I think Pogacar just thought, great, he's gone. I can win this in a sprint. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, because if he just attacked early, he know Jonas can probably keep up. And Remco, if he doesn't keep up immediately, he will just slowly pace him back because of the flat section afterwards. And then it's almost like a 50-50 between, well, not even 50-50, it's like a 33% because Remco will be there as well. He won't have the best legs, Tadej. And we all know when two people are very tired, the gap between them, diminishes. So Jonas could also maybe even win the stage. So I think, yeah, it was probably a smart play for Tadej, honestly.
So yeah, you had this scenario then when everybody was kind of looking at each other and the pace kind of slowed off the tempo of Remco Evenepoel, but forward came Jonathan Narvaez for UAE Team Emirates.
Yep.
And it was an important teammate ride from him. He kept the pace high, and off that pace went Tadej Pogacar, towed him to the final 200 metres, and Pogacar said, "Thank you very much, easiest stage win I will collect, probably until a couple of stages' time where he will likely do the same again."
Yep.
But easy victory for Tadej Pogacar. However, Vingegaard stays in the wheel and actually ends up taking some time on the likes of Remco Evenepoel. Not a lot, but finishes second on the same time.
An entire 2 seconds plus the 6 bonus seconds as well. So that's 8 seconds. Damn, he has basically already won the Tour. I mean, I'm not surprised that Jonas is the only one who really... What did I just say? I'm not surprised. I can't speak today. It's crazy. I'm not surprised Jonas is the only one who can follow him. But still, I mean, do you think Remco should have been able to follow the final attack and not lose the 2 seconds?
I think people underrate Jonas Vingegaard's puncher qualities. I think because he doesn't do the big races like Liège-Bastogne-Liège or like Amstel or stuff like that, the one-day classics. People don't think of him as a good puncher, but he proves, especially, like, for example, that Dauphiné stage when he went on the offensive. On the short, sharp climbs, he is probably worse, obviously, than Pogacar, but I can't really think of many riders that are better than Pogacar on that kind of effort.
True.
But I think Vingegaard's punch is kind of underrated, and an underrated quality of his, because everybody just knows him for the longer mountain efforts.
Exactly. I mean, that's what they've been talking about, at least the Danish commentary team and just in Denmark in general, the entire year, is that Jonas has been in the gym. He's put on some muscle. He actually put on too much muscle. Like, he was going too much to the gym, and they were like, okay, you got to chill. You're gaining too much muscle, and you're getting too much weight. So he had to stop at some point. And which is why that his puncher qualities have, upped this much even that, like, last year, I don't think he could have followed this, many of these attacks that Tadej did. But this year, he's right in the wheel.
So Vingegaard finishes second, obviously, and third place, another big performance, mainly for your fantasy team, for Oscar Onley. Picked Postenel third, and he is having the tour of his life right now.
Yes, I knew it. I saw it in the stars before the tour started. Oscar Onley's going to do great things, and oh boy, was I right.
So he finishes with a very esteemed group. Felix Gall was the only other rider outside of the GC kind of top 5 to 6-ish that was involved in the main sprint for the group. Narvaez finishes 7 seconds down, but with Vauquelin and Remco and Jorgensen, etc. on 2 seconds, that's another big win for Visma Lease Bike, obviously. We've spoken about the Almeida situation. Axel Laurence just about got dropped off the back for Ineos Grenadiers, but he seems to be growing into the race at 15 seconds. And then comes the rest of the GC guys. Primož Roglic, on a climb of 2 kilometers, loses 19 seconds to the likes of Remco Evenepoel. Is this a good sign?
Like, at this point, in the GC, he's up against Remco for 3rd place, and some others as well. Has he lost too much time at this point? Because, like, he keeps losing time consistently every single hill stage. He might be getting to a point where, like, okay, I'm assuming he's trying for sure. Is he going all out though to follow him? I don't feel like he is.
Yeah, for context now, the gap between Remco in second and Roglic in ninth on GC is 2 minutes and 12 seconds already. And we've not done a mountain stage yet. Now, I expect Roglic will do better than Remco on the mountain stages. Yeah. But we do have a while until the first proper mountain stage of the Tour.
Yep.
On a proper summit finish. So I think Remco can take even more time up until that rest day.
For sure. And we still have
widen that gap.
We still have one more time trial as well. So there's also that. I think Roglic is a little bit of trouble here, honestly.
But no, he finishes with his teammate Lipovitz, Matthias Skjelmose, Tobias Harlan Johannesson, and Carlos Rodriguez in a group on 21 seconds. Other riders, Enric Mas, bad day for him, losing 51 seconds. And Van Der Poel concedes the jersey by losing 1 minute and 20 on the day. So in the GC, Pogacar retakes yellow, Remco up to second, Kevin Vauquelin remaining third, and Vingegaard rises to fourth, with Van Der Poel dropping in to fifth. Evenepoel at 54 seconds, Vauquelin at 111, and Vingegaard at 117 behind Tadej Pogacar.
Indeed.
I don't think you can take much from this stage, to be honest with you, for the big GC guys. I'm kind of more interested in this top 5 battle at this point, because it seems to be super interesting with the way, especially Roglic at the moment, doesn't look like he's on the prime form that he is. No. And it's opening the door for the likes of guys like Onley and Gal, who finished very well today, to sort of shift themselves back into that conversation for a top 5.
For sure. I don't know, man. I mean, he's just been, I'm going to say, Roglic has been hiding. He's been hiding this tour. He's scared. And I don't think he has the legs to do anything. Yep, I've said it. He finishes not in the top 10.
Ooh. I mean, he's done well to stay in the race. Maybe that was his objective. Maybe that's the reason why he is hiding, because he's so focused on everybody else's back wheel and them not going on the ground and him being caught up in a crash. But you've got like all these other riders, the likes of Skjelmose, Lipovitz even, to an extent. But I think he's still going to be chained to Roglic, which is, I think, unfortunate for me. I'd like to see Bora rocking a dual leader strategy, but by the way they've been talking, they're all in for Roglic. How long do you think actually Roglic can go with these kind of results before Lipovitz potentially gets freed?
Oh, I think at least we have the first like medium mountain stage right before we have the first break. And it's not like there weren't any big mountains. There was like, I think 5 category 2s, but there were just a lot. And it's just it's going to be a hard stage. And the final climb, I believe, was like 3 kilometers at an average of 8%. So I think that one, if he doesn't perform there, then I think they'll start asking questions. Because if he loses, like, say if Liverpool gets a better time, for example, and Roglic loses like 20 seconds on Remco once again, then they have to start asking questions, because at that point it's a mountain stage. It's not a mountain stage, but it's a medium mountain stage, and he's got to be able to follow that.
And I totally agree with that point, I think. And Lipovitz has shown himself to climb incredibly well in mountain stages. So I think a stage like that final day before the rest day is one that should, on paper, suit Roglic better. But I think that will be the big yardstick for how is Lipovitz doing, how is Roglic doing. Maybe have the rest day to chat with both of them and see where they can go, because the more he loses time to, especially the likes of Onley and Gal and riders for the top 5 even, the more adventurous they've got to go with strategy, I think. And to me, an adventurous strategy is using Lipovitz.
Very much agree.
So that's what the GC looks like. The main losers, really, of the day were Guillaume Martin, who got caught up in the crash, with the likes of Ben Healy and Eddie Dunbar as well, who shedded plenty of places on GC. And, of course, João Almeida, who drops to 28th at 12 minutes and 21 now. And I think that's him out of contention. And again, that's good for the top 5 fight.
True. Very true.
But the white jersey goes to Remco Evenepoel, and he's still 17 seconds ahead of Kevin Vauquelin. Oscar Onley shifts above a couple of riders into third position there, and it's basically the kind of same as GC, really. Skjelmose 249 down in fifth, Lipovitz 208 down in fourth. And points, Pogacar retakes the lead of that jersey as well. So after conceding almost all of them, he's back in them.
Oh man, I don't know. Does he care? Well, I guess he'll be riding in yellow from now on. Well, he will be riding yellow from now on. Do you think he would ride in green though? Would he like to ride in green?
There was an interview where he was asked about it. I think it was the first day where he took green because they were like, oh, you've never worn the green jersey before. And he was like, yeah, and I'm probably never going to wear it.
Damn.
So, yeah, that's it's fighting talk from Tadej, but I think he's not interested in the green jersey. I think he's just accidentally winning it.
Yeah.
And he's winning it quite comfortably now. Jonathan Milan in second on 122, but Pogacar in first on 156 is big for the Slovenian.
Indeed.
Girmay only 11 points still behind Milan, but it feels like he just keeps losing mini points as stages go on.
Yep.
But yeah, Van Der Poel fourth. Jonas actually moves up to fifth. And Anthony Turgis, keep an eye on him. He's the only other rider that's getting involved in intermediate sprints for Total Energy. And by solely doing the intermediates, he's picked himself up 78 points and probably will squeeze into the top 5 at the end of this tour.
Impressive. Very impressive stuff.
Tim Wellens is in the mountain jersey, 1 point ahead of Tadej Pogacar. That's probably going to be another jersey that Pogacar ends up sweeping up once we hit the rest day.
Yeah.
Healy on 4, Jonas on 4, Costu on 3 as your top 5. But what do all of these changes in GC and all the other classifications do to your fantasy team, Lucas?
Well, I mean, actually, it wasn't too bad. We have Visma, we have Only, we have Lipovic, and then some other riders also there, I guess. With this Visma, Vingegaard with the stage winner bonus, he gets 377. Not bad for a second place, and also the GC and whatnot. We got only 173, Milan 40, I guess, just for the green jersey standings and the mini split. And then Lipovic was 73, and the others picking up a couple here and there. So overall, let me just check where we are on the rankings. We're a little bit further down now, around 48th. I'll take it. We're gonna come back later. Don't worry.
For me, I was on about making a change, of course, in the last podcast episode, and out went Lennart Van Eetveld, and I had 13 to spend. My initial idea was Guillaume Martin, who was obviously caught up in the incident before the Mur de Bretagne, so I feel like I've got away with that one. My next idea was Jonathan Narvaez, which would have been a fantastic pick. It would have had I picked him, because he finished, of course, 8th on the stage. I eventually ended up going for a guy who finished much lower than 8th on the stage. He lost 3 minutes. It was Aurélien Paré-Pantra, and although he is in a competent position on GC, he's in 17th, but yeah, it's not a good day for the fantasy team again. But he would have got more points than Lennart Van Eetveld, and that's the main thing. That
is the main thing. That's just the theory, a cycling theory. Yeah.
Remco was my stage winner bonus. He got 239, but of course, going without Pogacar or Vingegaard was a strategy that I thought was going to be daring and different, and it certainly was different. And it certainly was daring, but it wasn't very worthwhile. Yeah. Jonathan Milan on 40. Him being in green jersey is just going to get me consistent points, which is good. But yeah, Deli and Bittner on 0. They are on the chopping block soon if they don't get their act together. Lenny Martinez with 10, Scoins with 8, Velasco with 5 gives me 321 total, which is a terrible performance again.
Do you think later on during the tour, when the mountain stages come, will you sacrifice 2 riders to buy Tadej or Vingegaard and just buy like a 5-star rider as well? Because I am feeling like doing that. But I'll probably go on.
Yeah, Deli and Bittner, if I get rid of both of them, would give me 29 stars.
Ooh.
I don't know how much Pogacar is.
Something like that.
I actually should check.
Yeah.
Pogacar's 27. That's a yikes. Vingegaard's 24 though. So Vingegaard plus a 5-star guy might be a play that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I mean, interestingly enough, the top selected riders over the past 48 hours, Pogacar and Vingegaard have probably been in the top 10 for this constantly. But 2 random 5-star guys are also there. So I think that's the kind of play that I'm going to be also going for.
I might be going for a sort of Milan once we hit the This is stage 10 with the first like sort of mountain stage. And as someone else in the team as well is gonna be in a chopping blocks. I'm not sure. Maybe Lignason, maybe Ride. I don't know. And then I think I might buy Tadej. Gotta play the game.
I mean, going Tadej and Jonas is the ultimate play. I run another one on a site called Velo Games, and I've gone for the Pogacar Vingegaard strategy, and I'm very much enjoying myself on there. But yeah, the proper competition that I arguably am taking more seriously, I'm doing worse at. So brilliant stuff.
Great stuff.
So today's stage, I think, is quite hard to give a rating to. Out of 10, because it all kind of kicked off at the end. So for that reason, I think I'm giving today a 6.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a 6.5, probably. Yeah, it was just sort of like the ending part as well wasn't like a explosive ending. It was sort of like a meh. Tadej wins. Oh, surprise! I guess he didn't not even with like a full out attack, just like a sort of a safe victory. So yeah, I think like a 6.5 for me.
I feel like this is getting to sort of how I feel when watching Formula One.
All right.
Because I don't watch the drivers at the front because it's fairly boring and fairly regimented. Like Verstappen used to win all the time, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna take an interest in the mid pack, and I think that's what you have to do as a Formula One fan to actually watch some drama. And I feel like I am now gonna go. I could not care less about Pogacar, Vingegaard, and Remco Evenepoel. I'm looking at this battle for top 5, and that, for me, is the only thing that's keeping this GC at the Tour de France interesting for me.
Yeah.
Especially with Gal hitting form. I'm gonna, despite being a Brit and liking Osteronli. In fact, I do have him on my bingo card for a top 5.
Ooh.
So
predicament.
Do I go with the nationalistic pick of Osteronli, or do I go for the rider I actually kind of like slightly more in Felix Gal? I'm going to hang my flag on the Osteronli mast. We're doing it for GB. Osteronli is going to be the guy I root for from now, which is the kiss of death for his GC.
Oh yeah, wish it goodbye. He crashes today.
He's not going in my fantasy team. That would definitely be the kiss of death.
Yeah.
That would be him out of the race. So, stage 8 is a pretty simple sprint stage on to Le Val Espace Mayenne. Should be a fairly simple one to cover. Had a fairly short podcast for us. But where do you see it going?
I see it just going to a final sprint. Maybe I don't know the finish, how it is exactly in terms of like bends and stuff, if the crash might be possible. I hope not. But I see it come down to a sprint. And this time, Milan, you better step your ass up, man. One win, please. That's all I'm saying.
For the sake of the fantasy team, Arnaud Delis's going to win. I feel it. I don't feel it at all. I don't feel it at all. I'm just going to say I feel it. It's in my bones.
All right.
Arnaud Delis's going all the way. You heard it here first.
I'm betting on him crashing out as well now. That is the stage that we'll be covering later today or tomorrow. We'll see. We might even do 2 flat stages in one just to make it a longer episode. We'll see, because it's 2 in a row. But yeah, hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If it's of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give us 5 stars and like and all that great stuff. Yeah. And we'll see you all back tomorrow. Goodbye.